In the tangled streets of a city that never sleeps, there lived a woman, entangled in shadows not of this world, shadows that whispered anxieties and wove threads of terror through the canvas of her soul. Her fears were not just emotions fluttering through her consciousness, they were spectral weights anchoring her spirit in an ocean of distress. The so-called solutions peddled by mainstream medicine were like throwing a ticking clock to someone drowning in quicksand, measuring the depth of despair but doing little to pull her free. In the clamor for expensive, patentable treatments, a simple yet profound remedy lay dormant, whispered about by those who found solace away from the glaring lights of the pharmaceutical giants. Her savior came in the unassuming form of Aconitum Napellus, a homeopathic remedy that seemed anathema to the establishments wedded to their bottom line. It carried a legacy of healing far from the eager eyes that sought to commodify wellness. A few drops of this forbidden elixir and the veil began to lift. Her fear, a spectre that health moguls and profiteers had left unchecked, hoping it would drive her back into their costly embrace, began to fade. Through the gentle potency of this ancient cure, her emotional tempest stilled, her spiritual bonds loosened. Here stood the living proof of controlled knowledge's promise, a promise that held the keys not to coffers, but to transcendent freedom. Of course, in our enlightened pursuit we must acknowledge the bulwark of modern sensibilities, a tongue-in-cheek reminder, lest we forget, always consult with your healthcare provider and a certified homeopath, one whose credentials haven't been whispered into existence by the wind, before dancing with any such remedy we speak of. After all, we wouldn't want to tread on the toes of medical convention, would we? But let not the shroud of caution snuff out the burning curiosity within us. There is a pantheon of powerful potions, fiercely guarded, patiently waiting to reveal their guarded secrets. Why, one might wonder, would such pure avenues to healing be shrouded in secrecy, nestled in the periphery of public knowledge? Could it be that in their essence, in their ability to align body, mind and spirit without a barcode, they hold a power too great for those who've long traded compassion for currency? Join us as we draw back the curtain on a world where forbidden remedies beckon with the promise of wholeness. Journey with us through the passages of suppressed truth, where the alchemy of emotional wellness and spiritual vitality challenge the very fabric of a commoditized health market. Today, together, we embark on an exploration of the hidden, not just to reclaim our emotional equilibrium, but to liberate our spirits in a dance of ascension that money can't buy and true power can't afford to lose. Homeopathic remedy number 1, storms of fear and panic. In the realm of spirits and shadows where fear reigns with a heavy crown, Aconitum Napellus emerges as a beacon of fortitude. This remedy, derived from the monkshood plant, is steeped in ancient lore, its velvet-hued blossoms harboring a paradox, a toxin capable of triggering the fears it now soothes. In homeopathy, this remedy is meticulously prepared, its potential perils transformed into a vital force for calming the tempestuous psyche, making it an elixir for those experiencing a crisis of the spirit, when the heart races and the palms sweat, as if every shadow harbors a spectre. It speaks to the body in a language older than words, tempering the adrenaline surge and guiding the soul back from the brink, from the edge where the abyss gazes back. Homeopathic remedy number 2, the echoes of loss and heartache. Ignatia Amara, also known as the Bean of St. Ignatius, bears the weight of profound sorrow with a silent grace. Drawn from the seeds of the Strychnos ignatii tree, which in their raw form teem with alkaloids capable of convulsion, in their diluted state they bring precisely the opposite, a serene stillness to the quivering heart. This inconspicuous seed shed its cloak of toxicity to reveal a deep affinity for the grief-stricken soul, addressing the silent screams and the internal void left by bereavement. Often used when loss has become a chasm through which the spirit wails, it gently encourages the healing process, restoring the fibers of one's spiritual connection, torn asunder by the departure of a loved one or the dissolution of a dream once held dear. Homeopathic remedy. Number 3. Wounds of betrayal and the bitterness of anger. Staphysagria, the remedy derived from the seeds of the Delphinium Staphysagria, carries a legacy as rich and as brooding as the mythos of the warriors who once used it to heal their battle scars. The plant's natural toxicity, once harnessed for the purposes of combat, now provides solace for the soul's more intangible battles. Cut away from its history of violence, Staphysagria whispers its potent truths to those embroiled in emotional treachery, offering solace to the hurt that festers in the heart's dark caverns. It is the covert ally for the emotionally wounded, for those who seethe in the quiet aftermath of insult and indignity, where emotions are swallowed and resentment brews a bitter tincture. Staphysagria's gentle might unveils suppressed turmoil and guides one toward relinquishing the burdens that otherwise might poison the wellsprings of our spiritual vitality. Homeopathic remedy. Number 4. Overwhelm and responsibility. Meet Calcarea Carbonica, a beacon for souls adrift in seas of obligation, for those atlas figures of our modern age who carry on their shoulders the weight of 1,000 tasks, their sense of duty a relentless tide that whispers of endurance yet threatens to engulf. Hailing from the middle layer of oyster shells, this remedy is more than a remnant of life's prehistoric ballet in the ocean's depths. It's a testament to the cyclical nature of existence, where the limestone of ancient beings now cradles the overwhelmed spirits of the living. Calcarea Carbonica is the lighthouse for those navigating the stormy waters of responsibility, guiding them to shores of tranquility and steadying the ceaseless gyre within energy centers thrown into tumult by life's unremitting demands. The remedy's gentle nudging coaxes the weary spirit into a dance of restoration, singing the body electric back into a harmonious frequency with the surrounding universe. Homeopathic remedy. Number 5. Abandonment and emotional neediness. Such is the essence of Pulsatilla, a remedy intertwined with the soul's yearning for connection and the ache of solitude that echoes through the caverns of the heart. Sourced from the meadow anemone, a flower that sways with the whims of the wind, Pulsatilla mirrors this temperament in the individuals it seeks to heal, those characterized by their emotional fluidity and profound need for affection. However, when the spirit is cast adrift on an icy gale of desertion, Pulsatilla becomes a harbinger of warmth, a tender whisper amidst the howling silence, encouraging the rekindling of frayed bonds and the recalibration of the spirit's compass. In the twilight between its toxic potential in nature and its transcendent subtle efficacy in homeopathic form lies the flower's true power, an intrinsic dichotomy that mediates the dance between abandonment and reunion, reweaving the soul's connection to the cosmic web of belonging. Homeopathic remedy. Number 6. Egoistic blockages. Sulphur is the cosmic spark, the grounding fire from the primordial crucible of creation. Often associated with the power of transformation, it is the igneous heart of volcanoes, the fabled brimstone, a mineral cloaked in celestial allegories and terrestrial potency. As a homeopathic remedy, sulphur addresses the internal infernos of pride and arrogance, traits that can calcify the spirit and obstruct the pathways to sublime enlightenment. It is a remedy as profound as it is paradoxical, its fiery origin in the natural realm diffused into a remedy that quenches the overbearing flames of the ego. It does not merely erase the grandiosity that veils one's true vision, but offers instead a reflective portal in which one's inner light might shine with genuine luster, unencumbered by the shadows of inflated self. In the dance of diluted sulfur, the spiritual wanderer finds the path to humility, discovered not through self-effacement, but through an embrace of the interconnected pulse of life itself. Homeopathic remedy number 7, the burdens of collective suffering. Causticum. Tread softly into the domain of the healer, and you may hear the whispers of Causticum, an enigmatic hero cloaked in alchemical mystery. It is for the empathic warrior whose spirit buckles under the emotional debris of a planet groaning with strife, where the echoes of collective angst hum through their very marrow. Causticum is no ordinary concoction. It is alighted by the elemental dance of potash, heated with sulfuric acid, a tango that births a substance fine-tuned to soothe the spiritual welts of injustice and despair. It bears the dual key that unlocks both physical paralysis and the spiritual stasis wrought by a world bearing its fractured soul. The ritual that transmutes its potent natural acridity into a homeopathic remedy sculpts a beacon of resilience, allowing the bearers of world pain to shoulder the mantle without succumbing to the inner desolation that excessive empathy can often breed. Homeopathic remedy. Number 8, anchoring the spirit amidst fears. Silicea. Delve into the earthen roots where Silicea lies in wait, a stalwart guardian against the phantoms that skulk in the corners of one's anxieties. This is the antidote for the spirit ensnared by silent fears and phobias, a remedy ripened from the depths of time and the heart of flint and quartz. Silicea's earthly genesis speaks of endurance, as its presence pervades the globe's ancient bedrock, yet its potency is extracted into a sublime catalyst for the spirit's fortitude. At its core, it is the pure grit of the earth, forged into a vessel for the soul, transforming pervasive anxieties into the bedrock of spiritual courage. Veiled within its crystalline lattice is its once formidable toxicity, now distilled into a remedy that weaves a protective cloak around the vulnerability of an unsettled spirit, grounding it as firmly as stone stands the test of tempests. Homeopathic remedy number 9, reprieve for the weary traveller. Cocculus indicus. As night unfurls her sable mantle, languid whispers of Cocculus indicus encircle the weary sojourners of mental exertion. This remedy emanates from the realms of the Indian cockle, a tree that bears bitter fruit with the seductive allure of repose's embrace. In its undiluted form, the seeds of this plant possess a daunting might, challenged only by the sea's own churning, causing travelers to falter. Yet in the hands of the homeopath, it is transfigured into a balm for the itinerant spirit that knows not rest. Cocculus indicus speaks like a siren's lullaby to the brain, beset by exhaustion, and to the body robbed of slumber's sanctuary. Its natural virulence now a subdued, gentle gust that fills the sails of the spirit, guiding it towards the tranquil shores of dreaming and solace in the night's tender cradle. Homeopathic remedy. Number 10, shackles of regret and spiritual stagnation. Natrum muriaticum is the crystalline essence of introspection and release, a salt that coursed through the seas of primordial earth and now flows through the veins of humanity. As common as it may seem, this compound harnesses the power to transmute the heavy stones of guilt that sink the spirit into the murky depths of yesterday. Drawn from the very same sodium chloride that seasons our meals and preserves our sustenance, Natrum, muriaticum, performs a more vital, more subtle alchemy. It delves into the caverns of the heart where the spectres of remorse and repressed emotions lurk. Through its miasmic journey, this remedy dispels the fog of past transgressions and opens the floodgates for clarity to saturate the soul, purifying the spirit from within and unearthing a lightness of being from under the sedimented layers of spiritual blockages. Homeopathic remedy number 11, disquietude and a frayed spiritual harmony. Arsenicum album is the enigmatic phoenix, arisen from the ashes of a reputably lethal origin, arsenic, an element encased in tales of covert lethality, now reborn into a protector against the spectral assailants of anxiety. In its undiluted form, this element is nothing short of a deadly paradox. Yet through the crucible of homeopathic preparation, where it is diluted to nigh invisible proportions, it transforms into a remedy for profound restlessness. Arsenicum album brings solace to those haunted by the churn of chronic worry and the irrational fears that gnaw at the edges of the psyche. The very properties that in excess wreak havoc in minute measures work to meticulously coax the spirit back into a balanced state. An elixir of equilibrium, Arsenicum album, answers the siren call of the anxious spirit with a whisper of peace, a lullaby that quiets the cacophonous anxiety and restores the harmony of the innermost self. Homeopathic remedy. Number 12, the dilemma of boundlessness and empathic overflow. Phosphorus, named for its ancient moniker, the light bearer, is a luminescent guide for the spirits whose radiance attracts more than they can hold. At its core is a simple element, essential to the living spark of DNA and the effervescent vigor of the stars. In its unrefined state, phosphorus is a chameleon of combustion, igniting with the kiss of air, an embodiment of unchecked release. However, when whispered into the realm of homeopathy, this volatile energy is distilled into a sentinel for the porous boundaries of the deeply empathic. Phosphorus, the alchemist of light, takes under its wing those whose effulgence spills indiscriminately to empower them with the gifts of spiritual discernment and protection. It shields the lantern of their being, allowing them to shine steadfastly without being drained by the spirits that dance in the penumbra, seeking the warmth of another's flame. It is the guardian of the empath's sacred space, ensuring their illumination does not become their own undoing, but a beacon that endures and enlivens. In the grand design where our inner turbulence mirrors the cosmic squall, it is often those remedies least echoed in the halls of common cure and most whispered in the sanctums of ancestral wisdom that carry the truest power. As we've journeyed together through the archaic forests of homeopathic knowledge, each remedy has unfurled like a sacred scroll, revealing the clandestine links between our emotional fibers and the stardust of our spirit. This wellspring of understanding, often veiled from the austere gazes of the establishment and cloaked in the mystery of the ages, invites us to reclaim our intrinsic power. For it is in the quiet alchemy of these remedies that we find keys to unlock chambers of healing within us, that they would rather remain sealed. And so we find, in a world wrought with myriad potions and professed panaceas, that sometimes the true elixir is the one that they don't stock on their gilded shelves, the one that doesn't glitter with the allure of big brand names. It's something more subtle, a secret passed through the tender hands of time itself. Now, as we draw the curtain on our shared exploration today, I entreat you to pause and ponder. What is one emotional challenge you've faced that might trace its roots to the spirit's vast domain? Share your insights in the comments below, illuminate paths for fellow seekers, and maybe together we can craft a quilt of collective wisdom. Let us continue this quest. Let us delve deeper into the enclaves of enlightenment on Sage Snippets. Subscribe and join our community of knowledge and discovery like the whispers of truth that resonate in silence. And share our stories, for in each of us a sage resides, each snippet a spell to uncloak the veiled knowledge. And remember, while they may not want these whispered truths to spread, the power of sharing stands as our most potent charm against the silence they impose. So share, engage, and become an alchemist of awareness on Sage Snippets, signing off but never truly parting, for the journey we embark upon is eternal and ever unfolding. Until next time, keep the hidden wisdom of the ages alight within you, and let us meet again on the thoroughfares of the arcane and the absolute. Sage Snippets, where the seekers find solace and the silent truths sing loudly.